Hello students, let's see the question. Question is, what would happen if the plasma membrane ruptures or breaks down? So the question is saying that if our plasma membrane ruptures or breaks down from any reason, then what would happen to the cell? So first of all, let's understand that what is a plasma membrane. So plasma membrane is basically, we call it as cell membrane as well. It is also known as cell membrane that surrounds, or we can say encloses, the cytoplasm of the cell. The cytoplasm of cell is surrounded or enclosed within the plasma membrane. So if supposedly this is our cell, then whatever material is inside it is called as a cytoplasm, where there will be organelles, there will be DNA within the nucleus, there will be cell organelles, different kinds of organelles. So everything, including the organelles and the nucleus and everything inside the cell, is called as the cytoplasm. This is the cytoplasm. And this black layer, which is enclosing the cytoplasm, is called as the plasma membrane. This is the plasma membrane, or we can also call it as cell membrane. So this plasma membrane is an outermost layer if we talk about animal cell. So if we are saying that we are having an animal cell, so in animal cell we know that cell wall is absent, then the plasma membrane present is going to be the outermost membrane, which means that in a cell, the last membrane or the outermost membrane beyond which the surroundings and environment will start, which means the outermost membrane is going to be a plasma membrane for the animal cells. So in animal cells, this plasma membrane is the outermost layer. After this, the environment will start. So we can say that through this plasma membrane, animal cell is able to exchange products with the environment, because this plasma membrane is in direct contact with the environment. On one side, it is in contact with the cytoplasm, and on the other side, it is in contact with the environment. Now, if I talk about plant cells, so we know that within the plant cells, cell wall is present, and that cell wall is present beyond the plasma membrane, like here. Here, there will be a complete cell wall present. So, if I talk about plant cell, then in that plant cell, the plasma membrane is not going to be the outermost layer. It will be, we can say, second layer, second outermost layer. Because after this, cell wall will also be present. Cell wall is the outermost layer in the plant cell. Plasma membrane is the second outermost layer in the plant cell. So whatsoever be the reason, whatsoever be the location of the plasma membrane, irrespective of that, plasma membrane serves the function that it is a selectively permeable membrane. First of all, the plasma membrane is selectively permeable, which means it allows the flow of only certain substances. It does not allow everything to flow inside and outside of the cell. Moreover, secondly, first of all, it's selectively permeable, so it controls the amount of substances coming in and going out. Secondly, its main function is to protect the cell and separate it from the environment. So main function is to separate and protect the cell. If I talk about animal cell, then this is the protective layer, because inside it is cytoplasm and outside is environment. So the protective layer is going to be the plasma membrane only, because it is the outermost layer. So it separates and protects the cell from external environment. And it is selectively permeable, which means it allows the flow of certain materials inwards and outwards of the cell. So if I break this plasma membrane, I rupture this plasma membrane, then what effect will be caused? So if for any reason plasma membrane ruptures or breaks down, then what will happen? Then the cell will not be able to exchange substances, or we can say exchange materials. For whatsoever reason, if the plasma membrane ruptures or breaks down, then the cell will not be able to exchange material from its surroundings. Why? Because if it breaks down, then the entire cytoplasm is going to leak in the surroundings. So the cell will die, the cell will rupture if the plasma membrane ruptures. Because plasma membrane is kind of providing a skeletal framework to the cell. It is enclosing the cell in a perfect shape, a perfect size. And if that plasma membrane is breaking down, then the cytoplasm and every organelle will leak into the environment. The cell will die eventually. So first of all, the cell will not be able to exchange materials from its surroundings. Secondly, we know that the common method by which the cell exchange the materials, either it uses diffusion or it uses osmosis. Secondly, what will happen? The cytoplasmic material, or we can say whatever is in the cytoplasm, the organelles, the enzymes, everything will leak into the surroundings or into the outermost environment. And what will happen eventually? And the cell will eventually die. The cell will die eventually. Why? Because there would be nothing to hold the cytoplasm of the cell. Or we can say if the case is of a plant cell, then everything will leak outside the plasma membrane under the cell wall. So that kind of system is also going to kill the cell, because the protoplasmic material will disappear after some time, because the cell wall is rigid and does not allow us to exchange anything, and plasma membrane is living. So because of that, the plant cell will also die if the plasma membrane ruptures down. So this is the case that if the plasma membrane ruptures or breaks down, the cell will die. Moreover, the cell will not be able to exchange materials from its surroundings. It will not be able to breathe. It will not be able to do the exchange of gases and everything, which is the function of plasma membrane. It allows few of the substances to flow in and out of the cell, which is selectively permeable. So all these things will happen and the cell will eventually die. I hope you understood this well.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.